Hello and welcome back to the finishing line. And we're kind of on time for once.
We're not. We're late.
No, I would consider that on time. It's better than normal. Tom has a new background. We have a new
You're frozen.
background and office. Sean has kind of the nice stuff
frozen.
there. All four of us are here, and we're back.
Apparently, we're frozen.
Sean, are they frozen?
Yeah, it always happens, but I think they're all good on the other side, so it's all good.
Keep going.
Can you hear us at least?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Hear it just...
I thought everything was going to shit there, to be honest.
We can still talk shit.
Andrew, how are you?
I am Grand Dave. I am busy bee like yourself.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. Sean, how you doing?
Fantastic, yeah. I've seen the newest PT in the government building on a nice paycheck. I hope that might be you going in there.
Tom, how you doing?
Dave, I'm good, thanks. I'm just hoping you can use this as a bit of a therapy session each week. You know, just get stuff off your chest, de-stress. And look, Sean's going to pull some strings in Dublin. I'm going to pull some strings in Waterford, Wexford. With all the politicians we know, we will get you that PT job up there, Dave. Don't worry about that.
Please don't get him started. Please, no.
I
not
feel like
now.
we missed something there. I mean, must have been frozen completely or something.
No, Sean froze. I don't know what he was saying. Everyone else heard it. We didn't. I don't know why this happens. Tom will freeze in about 10 minutes, but everyone else can still hear him bear us.
So when I asked Sean how he was, he answered.
He answered. As far as I know, he answered.
Are you good, Sean?
Yeah, I'm great. I've seen that you got a new job in the government building today on 160k a year, so...
That's what we missed.
That's what we missed. I knew I had a feeling there was something missed there. No, Sean. No, that's not for me, unfortunately. I wouldn't mind 160k all the same, but that's not my gig. We are here to talk about horses to follow. The whole gang is back together for this. Tom has already kind of got stuck in there. Maybe that was before we even started.
What?
Giving out to Sean about who he's going to put up. That was
he was on one today in the chat, and before anyone even decides to just wait to the last horse. It's going to be worth it. Trust me. If it's anything to go on by the chat today, it's fucking worth it. Just stay tuned.
That's all to be revealed. We have the novices and a dark horse. Novice hurdlers, novice chasers, 2 each, and a dark horse. We're going to rattle through this. We're going to keep it to an hour. That's the new rules here. We're not going to bore people. So I'm going to control this. And if someone starts waffling...
He loves being in control.
Not looking at anyone in particular about waffling.
Which one?
I'm not saying. I'm going to cut him off and we move on to the next one. And there'll be minimal arguments, but the arguments will be good. They won't be boring.
To the point.
Oh, to the point arguments. Tom, we decided before we started that you were going first, and you were. Is this a? I can't see that.
Yeah.
Which one?
These are hurdler.
B. Starts with B.
Is it a chaser or a hurdler?
A hurdler, so then we go chasing.
We're doing the hurdlers first. I should have been more ready for this.
It's the first show back.
It's my first.
You're improved for the run. You're grand.
I'm not fit. 3 mile chaser. Tom, your first novice hurdler is.
Beckett Rock, which I've taken a swing at this now.
What is that?
exactly, Wally. I've taken a swing at this now, right? And I'm going left field with some of these. I'm not going down your Ballyburns is going to win all. Your Willie de fucking France is going to fucking win the Triumph. None of this shit. I'm taking a swing. I'm taking a swing at some of these. And Dave, you said, was this a hurdler or a chaser? It could be either, to be honest. I could have this completely wrong. However, whatever he goes for this year, Beckett Rock for me is a horse to follow. He hasn't ran since November. He made his debut in November at Goran in a 4-year-old maiden hurdle. He bolted up by 15 lengths. There was a horse going to finish second, fell at the last. But he put that to bed in a few strides. He went off 10-1 that day, suggesting he probably doesn't show that much at home. Big, massive horse, ran to an RPR of 126. He's by Cave Tara. His dam is a half sister to Tully East and Column of Fire. this lad's going to be a staying chaser in the making. Where they go with him, I'm not sure now. If they stayed over hurdles, I could see one of those Henry campaigns where he ends up in that race at Clonmel before the Albert Bartlett or something like that. But massive fan of this lad. If you haven't seen his race, go back and watch the race at Goran. I thought he was seriously impressive under Mikey O'Connor that day. I think he's probably a staying hurdler in the making, or he's a staying chaser in the making. But if he stays over hurdles this year, I'd be a big supporter of his.
Is he a novice, Pablo?
Good point, Sean. He's not a novice. No. Good point that you've just pointed out there. I did realise halfway through saying it about the novice chase campaign. I did realise
he is a novice chaser.
He indeed isn't a novice over hurdles. So let's go with my first novice chaser of the show, Beckett Rock.
That was a good one.
Great start.
It's great to be back.
Good start. Andrew is up next, and his first novice hurdler is
In the yellow clay, trained by Big Gordo himself, Big G. A horse that probably will, I say, go under the radar. He'll go under the radar a bit this season. Look, he started off his career as a 4-year-old in bumpers. He won 2 back in March of 2023, but the race at Leopardstown, the grade 2 bumper where he came from nowhere, then got stopped, and people thought he could have won, was where he caught everyone's eye. Backed that up with a decent enough run in the champion bumper where he finished 6th behind Jasmine the Yak and Romeo Coolio. But what I liked about what he done next was he was able to back up that run with a second behind Redemption A, who has more experience than half all the bumper horses put together that he ran against. I think it's turning 7 going 8. But he backed it up with a very good run at Punchestown, and I like how he could do that. To me, that marks him down as a horse who's resilient, can back up his runs, and can perform at a high level. Where he will go, I don't know whether it'll be 2 miles, 3.5 miles. I don't know, but I still think this horse will definitely go under the radar. He has a lot of ability. I think he's 33-1 for all races at Cheltenham right now. That tells you they don't know where they're going with him himself. But there's a lot of ability there. I think once this fella meets a hurdle, you'll see a massive improvement in him. He's every bit of a chaser. Or every bit of a jumper. So at the old adjective, whatever he does in a bumper, he'll be better for hurdles. And the same, I think he'll be even better chaser. But I think he will go under the radar, and he could be one. They could aim towards the Martin Pipe at the end of the season. Could be one of his main targets if he's not up to the proper grade 1 level. I know Gordon loves targeting one for that race. So yeah, I think he's a horse definitely to follow this season. Go under the radar, and I think he will surprise a few people. The yellow clay.
Okay, Andrew's first one. My first one is Regent's Stroll, Paul Nicholls' horse. I throw him in here. He's somewhere along the way related to Denman. He's a big bull of a horse. Probably end up being a long distance chaser in the future. But I would think he'd be better than Tishan of Paul Nicholls. And he could mop up those races that Nicholls sends the hurdlers to, like the Challow and so on and so forth. Whether he's good enough to win at Cheltenham is debatable. But he looked good in his 2 bumpers. The second one, hard to know how good the form is, but he won it by 6 lengths. Big galloping type. I think he'll mop up a few races in England and will be one to follow.
I like him.
Nice horse.
To me, he's Demon's brother, even though he's not. I just wanted to be Demon's brother.
Nice horse.
He'll win the Challow, probably.
Yeah, I think he'll win the Challow. Sean.
Sean. There we go.
Yeah, my first one up is Kopek the Border, trained by Willie Mullins. Look, I was very, very impressed by what he done on debut. He made his debut in the 30 House Sales bumper. He's only a 4-year-old. He's a younger horse, and we only seen him once. He went and beat Clap at Thunder at Wiston Davis's, who was 5th in a listed race before that. But he gave him £7 that day, and just how he travelled through the race. They went a good clip. Clap at Thunder went down in front that day, and he was at the back of the field. and he carved through them. When the race got caught, he arrived on the home bend, and Paddy Mullins had a double handful, and he just went and gave him a squeeze, and he answered, and he went away. He was very impressive. I'd say, given time and the fact he was only a 4-year-old, hence we didn't see him a champion bumper or a route like that, and they given him time off. And look, you see what they've done with Ballybourne the season before and not going to champion bumper. They end up getting benefits out of him the season after. As I said, he gave him £7 that day, and I think that form will work out. It often does, and like only one has come out of it since the 8th, and he was like 60-70 lengths behind, and he's won. But time will tell. We'll see where else comes out of the race and see what happens there. But he's a well-bred individual, and look, I think he could go to the top table. I think he's one that you could see stepping up to middle distances. Although he did cut through in the bumper, it's not a rapid turn of foot he has. It was sort of took him a while to get going, and then he went and put the distance between him. I can see him over middle distances this season, probably ending up in a Ballymore, but probably a Lawlers and Ace would be the first task before you start looking at a Ballymore. So my first one up will be Copec the Borders.
Very good. That's one for everyone. We're back to Tom, and hopefully this one's actually a novice.
Yeah. Let's see.
This one I can guarantee you is a novice. What's called 40 Coats. Sean's going to be pulling his hair out. There's another one trained by Henry de Bromhead getting in here already.
I know him.
To be honest, if I had hair, I would have just lost it.
Don't worry.
I don't have no hair, but I would pull it out.
There's a Willie Mullins horse coming later in my picks for you, Sean. Don't you worry yourself about that. This lad's a live one for me. I think he's very big prices for novice races at Cheltenham, but it's just one of those. He won a Nace bumper in April, and I think he's gone under the radar a little bit. He won it.
Did you? Before we did this, did you just walk around Henry's yard and just pick out names on stable doors?
He looks nice. I'll put him up.
It's okay. I
had a nice coat on
No,
that day.
I'll give it to you. I actually had him in the tracker. I'm not going to lie to you. He is in my tracker. He won well on debut.
Go on, anyway.
Thank you very much. Beckett Rock's a solid name, and 40 Coats. I thought 40 Coats is quite a cool name. Like, who owns 40 Coats on the podcast? I mean, apart from Sean, none of us. But I don't know if Andrew and Dave, I don't know if you've seen him, but I liked this lad. I thought he was mightily impressive in his point-to-point and in his bumper. Henry wouldn't be known for having bumper horses now, but this lad absolutely sluiced Clare. The second has gone and backed up the form. He finished second of 19 in a bumper at Punchestown Festival, so that makes that look pretty strong. The fifth, there were 7 runners. The fifth is rated 123 over hurdles. The 6th is rated 119, and the 7th is rated 109. So I do think there's a fair bit of substance to that form, and I think he's a smart horse. This lad, really looking forward to getting him over hurdles, and he's a big price. I think it could be 33s and stuff like that for some of the novices at Cheltenham. So I think he's worth a look.
What silks does he don?
What silks does he have?
The maroon, and what are they called? Man, Jones. Is it Chris Jones? Is it Chris Jones?
The Jones family own him. His son. These drop this in front of you. In every sense.
Oh, it's Paloma blue colours.
The Core Sublime colours.
Yeah, Core Sublime.
The
That's
Core Sublime.
He'll be shite, so. Anyway, Andrew is next one.
Hold on to your fucking hats. I'm putting up an English horse. Horace's Pearl.
Horses.
I get
horses.
Horasses. I have Horasses wrote down.
Horasses.
That's I'm putting up. Trained by Fergal O'Brien, 3 from 3 in bumpers, won the Grade 2 bumper last year at the Aintree Festival. This thing is everything, but everything a stayer needs to be. He is off the bridle, more or less the first, and he just keeps going and going and going. It's a horses I love. As I said, he made his debut. It was a Warwick, something like that. He's 2 from 2 at that track. Won a list race, given weight away to decent enough rivals. Then he ran the Grade 2 bumper at Aintree. Beat another Fergal horse, Tripoli Flyer.
Tripoli Flyer.
Tripoli Flyer.
And that kid a fucking stinker, right?
I was going to say, I was literally the worst. I mean, everyone's saying it was a really bad ride by Paddy Brown. In a way, it was. But then when I went back and watched it a few times,
in more ways, it was.
It was still a bad ride. But the gap he put between, I'm on about Tripoli Flyer, the gap he put between third, fourth, and fifth didn't grow when he came off the bridle. So maybe he's just a ship bridle merchant. But this thing, he goes out of camera. So I go back and watch the Grade 2 bumper at the Aintree Festival. He goes out of picture, out so wide to get a run, and he just grinds him all down, and he's just not sprinting away, but really staying on strongly throughout the line. I reckon he's going to make up a good novice hurler, and I reckon that race on the Friday of November meeting has his name written all over it. The Grade 2, 2.5 mile novice hurdle on the Friday of the Cheltenham November meeting. I think that has his name written all over it. I think he's very good horse. I just like the way he goes about his business, and how when he comes off the bridle, he always comes off the bridle. Even when he pisses in, he comes off the bridle. He's not flashy about him. He just grinds. 2.5 miles, 3 mile could be his trip. I think he's a very exciting horse going forward. And maybe, just maybe, this could be the Cheltenham horse that Fergal O'Brien's looking for. I think he's a very exciting future ahead of him. Horse's Pearl.
He said it better there. That was better.
I slowed myself down. When I overthink things, I fuck things up.
Yeah, no, that was a better attempt.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Dave, that's me.
That's you. Believe it or not. Ready?
Yeah. And it's Pastoral.
Go on, yeah.
Henry the Brownhead and a horse.
Jesus Christ.
Tell him about this.
Yeah, I don't care. A horse I have a small share in. I don't care. Tom's going to be pissed off, but her form stands up from last year. She ran in a race behind Birdie or Bust. She was second in a listed race behind Brighter Days Ahead. She's still a novice for the season. I personally think she's up to win a listed class race. I've big hopes for her through the season. She's looks like she's strengthened up nicely. I was of the opinion last year to very much take it easy with her. And I think Tom and the lads done the right thing by her by putting her out for the summer and leaving her strengthened up. She looks great. The form is there. You go through the horses that have been in her races or she's been ahead of in her races, and they're all decent. She finished ahead of Pink in the Park, who's come out and won some races over fences.
She was saying today.
So, I mean, the form is there. She's going to pick up a race along the way, but I do think, and it's not just because I have a share in her, but I do think she's up to winning a listed race, and we're going to follow her all year.
This is like a parent saying, "My child's the best. My child's the best." Yeah. Oh, look. In all fairness, Dave, I actually only watched her race today. A couple of her races back, actually, and yeah, she could go on and kick on. I think she's definitely listed quality. She proved that, in fairness, last year. She proved it wasn't a fluke on any of her runs. She was only a baby, tiny little thing, and she's strengthened up with every single run. Henry did a great job with her, and she was going to run in the Grade 1 at Ferry House, and she got a little knock just before that, a couple of days before. So we skipped that and then decided to give her a break, give her the whole summer off. So she's about to go back into training. She's about to go back into Henry's now in the next couple of weeks, and she looks an absolute picture. She's gone and strengthened up again. So yeah, no, I'd be lying. I couldn't tell you that I wasn't looking forward to it. So yeah, really, I'm looking forward to it this season.
Okay. Second to Brighter Days Ahead. That's all that matters.
Pastoral. Sean.
Yeah, my second one up is across the water as well. I put up one either side, and it's going to be Tishan and Paul Nichols's. Look, I raved on about him last season. He went and housed up in the point to point, and he joined Nichols Yard, bought by Delahaye, and it took a while to see him. He eventually got out in February in Exeter, where he done what I thought he'd do. He absolutely housed up on the bridle, winning very well, and then all of a sudden the champion bumper came into the frame, and he was quickly turned around and sent to Cheltenham, where he just completely lost the head. He got buzzed up in the ring, he got buzzed up going down, and as soon as the tapes dropped, Harry Cobden was just a passenger. He absolutely tanked off down the hill, and that was the end of him. But he actually held in a lot longer than I thought he would. He brought them all the way to the home bend before he was taken over, and I thought he would have faded a long time before that, and Cobden gave him an easy time, and he came home finishing 12th. But I think there's plenty in that tank. I'd be the opposite of Dave. I think this could be Nichols's shallow horse in around that middle distance. I think he'll come out and win his novice hurdle, no issues. And then
Can we come to some sort of debate about whose horse wins more races or whose horse wins a grade 1 before the other, perhaps? We'll have to try and come to some sort of bet here now.
that's no problem.
Oh, Jesus.
Let me
This is
think. Let me
shock.
think about that. But your horse is crap. Mine's not.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, no, look, he hosed up and he disappointed at Cheltenham, but you can put a line through it. The whole experience at Cheltenham exploded his brain, and he went and charged, and he's beaten well. But he showed a good performance first time out at Exeter. I think coming back, he'll have absolutely no issues winning the novice hurdle, and then I'd say be great at company from there on in. You might catch him at Cheltenham, or as I said, onto Newbury. So hopefully Nichols blesses him with that Denman statement after winning a maiden hurdle, and he goes on to win the Challow in early January.
If he blesses him with the demonstratement, he's fucked.
Yeah, the viewers will be quite happy. There's a few English horses, which
I know, it's fucking shock horror.
is different. It's different.
It didn't feel right, though, to be honest.
That is the novice hurdlers.
Slash chaser.
Yeah, well,
Slash
Tom had
chaser.
one that's not a novice. Tom's up
It's
next.
like is when he says he goes to Clonmel, that novice race, and I'm like, he's just not a novice, Tom.
No.
Tom's up next, but Tom and Sean have the same horse.
Maybe if he wants to identify as a novice, he can. Who fucking can these days?
Yeah, I'm sure you could do anything you want these days. Tom and Sean have the same horse, so I will go, and then I'll leave Tom and Sean talk, and then Andrew can jump in then with his first novice chaser.
Jesus.
And I'm going to cross the water again for my first novice chaser, and it's Gidley Park. Bombed out at the back end of the season last year, but up to that point, he had looked a very decent novice hurdling prospect, and for all the world, would be miles better over fences. I like Harry Fry as a trainer as well. He gets a fair share of winners at the big meetings. I think this lad will be similar to the likes of Regent Stroll. He'll mop up some of those races in England early in the season, a place like Warwick and so on and so forth. There's loads of grade 3s and grade 2s that he could be aimed at. He's won a couple around Cheltenham over hurdles, so he goes at the track. And probably not good enough to beat the Irish novices come the festival, but we won't worry about that. We get a couple of wins on the board and happy days.
That novice chase at Exeter.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. And there's one in heavy ground the end of February, start of February around Warwick. Might not be fast enough for that, but any of those heavy ground ones,
it'll be bottomless. You get it.
Exeter would be ideal for him now. He just keep.
What's that? That's Hole and Go Cup Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He maybe be one for national run chase if he gets in with.
He looks like a big slow bastard.
Yeah, he's definitely slow, but it's fine. I'll get old and slow.
Fucking write that down.
Tom and Sean have the same horse. They'll probably give similar arguments, but we'll let Tom go first, and then Sean can take over.
Oh, good man, Pablo. It's great to see that you've copped on now a Willie Mullins man in the team, and it's going to be your best one.
It's coming from the fellow who slayed them all last season.
Yeah, slated them all last year. Can't beat Stateman, he says. Can't beat Stateman. But
was I wrong?
you weren't wrong, but now you're putting him up. Look, this lad to me was a chaser. He's one of these that maybe you find a bit more love for those horses that you get on the board with early. I saw this lad winning a Nace. I just happened to be watching racing that day, and I've just loved him ever since then. Looked like a chaser. Look, they decided to stay over hurdles last year for whatever reason to then develop, I think it was. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to him going chasing. I think this is the season for him. He's gonna mixed it in the grade 1 open hurdles last year. And look, State Man is the yardstick, isn't he? And he's gone and got very close to him a couple of times. And then on other occasions, I think after they realised, look, we're probably not going to be up to beating him, they looked after him in a few races, and I don't think that's going to have done him any harm. He's rated a pound higher than Ballyburn is over hurdles. And if you listen to a few people, especially some on this podcast, Ballyburn wins all and is a Gold Cup winner, and you might as well just give him the Gold Cup trophy now. So yeah, to be rated a pound higher, that it's a very, very high rate in 163. He was a top class novice hurdler. He's going into novice racing now. In what, in fairness, looks a fairly wide open division when you take Ballyburn out of it. And Sean tells me he's going to go up and trip, and he probably will go up and trip rather than down to the Arkle. So I think he's a fair price for the Arkle, this lad as well. I think he's about 10 to 1 or something. So yeah, I'm keen, very keen.
Sean?
Yeah, Tom's hit many of the nails on the head there, to be honest with you. He's a horse that I've been dying to see over a fence since probably Christmas last year when he was torn over by State Man. But look, his 2 runs was beating a length by Tehubu, gone on to win the Stairs, and beating 3 lengths by State Man, gone on to win the Champion Hurdle. And people sort of just pushed him to a side and said, right, that's the end of him. But it wasn't. I know he fluffed his lines at the DRF, but he tried to go out in front and he just hated every single minute of it. He started jumping out to his right and doing crazy stuff. So you can put a line through that. They gave him time off and they brought him back, and he's went and won in Aintree, and I think that could be them making the man of him, to be honest with you. He had to get into a right fight there, and he put his head nose down at the right time and he got in front. He then went to Sandown and convincingly beat the Langer down by about, I think it was 2 or 3 lengths at Sandown. Look, you can't forget what he done as a novice. He's dropped back into novice company. As Tom said, he's a rated 163. He's the highest horse going back into novice chasing this season. And he reminds me of the mould of like a footpad that sort of done a season in open company, dropping back down, and it really stands to them. I think he could be, I think he has Arkle written all over him. I think he could be electric over the fence, and I'm dying to see him. I can't wait. And for anyone that's out there looking, I think there's still like 14 to 1 about for the Arkle. He'd be my pick at the moment.
I think he's an horse because he showed he's enough speed for a 2 mile in 2 mile open hurdles. And I just don't think there'd be a rush up in trip with him to 3 miles at all. Yeah. So yeah, I think he screams Arkle as well.
Yeah, I think if he jumps well, you have no choice but to go to Arkle as well, because you're not going to keep taking him back if he's jumping well and he has the speed. There's absolutely no point in sending him up to 3 miles. I just don't see him as a slugger, and I don't think 3 miles will be his route. So at least you know what a choice but to get down the Arkle route.
I can't wait to see what happens when Ballyburn and Imperaire Passe line up for the Arkle. What the fuck Sean going to do?
Holy fuck.
Jesus Christ. He's going to lose his fucking head.
Yeah, no, I like Imperaire Passe.
I think he'll win the Arkle.
Imperaire Passe?
Yeah, I had him down, but I said to him, boys, but up, so I'll change.
Yeah, he just reminds me so much. Remember that footpad had the season in open company coming back, and he just annihilated the novices when he dropped back in.
Not the price.
Sean didn't hear that.
Yeah, I'd say he's too short right now. A stupid choice. Talk about Ballyburn for the Arkle.
Okay. The boys have put up Imperaire Passe. Andrew's next. And I'm going to go for a P along the way because my tablets are not playing ball and it's live. And there's nothing I can do. Andrew?
I am going to go with Waterford Whispers for Mr. Henry de Bromhead. Go on.
I need to move this.
Yeah, go under. Over. It's live television. Nothing we can do about it.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, look, this horse to me has a lot of talent. He was, I say, fecked around at the start of last season because they wanted to get him qualified for Martin Pipe, and they duly got him qualified for Martin Pipe. He was very unlucky. I say unlucky in the Martin Pipe on the day because he put like an absolute whore. He never settled for any part of the race, and Mikey O'Connor had no choice but to leave him go forward. And to finish the closest he did then at the finish, he still ended up finishing second to Better Days Ahead. That was a massive performance, and look, it showed then when he went on to Punchestown how much that took out of him because he got pulled up when he went off 2-1 favourite for a hurdle race. Again, look, Henry is very adept of getting the best out of horses when they go chasing, and this fella, I would presume, is going to go novice chasing. 100% will definitely go under the radar. But why I like him, I always love the Martin Pipe. It's a race I always go back on every year. You'd like Sir de Champs, Dom Poli, Banbridge, Galton de Champs have all won this race. And there's always a really good horse lurking in it. I think the top 3 in it this year are going to be very good horses going forward. And you can take a pick from any of the 3 of them. Hold up a second. Dino's back. Down in front. But yeah, look, he's massive price for all the novice races. Look, I would reckon he's going to go Arkle. He's 66-1 for the Arkle. I think he'll go the normal Henry route where his novice chasers go. But I think there's a lot of talent under there. You can see, go back and watch the races he won. It was very, let's get their last minute. There's a lot of talent under that bonnet. I think going forward, he's going to be a very, very good novice chaser. Whether he's a grade 1 horse or not is yet to be proven, but I think he won't be far off it. So Waterford Whistle's my first novice chaser.
Okay. We're back to me, I suppose.
Back to you.
My second novice chaser is Brighter Days Ahead for Gordon Elliott.
Go on, you freaky bitch.
Most likely going for the Mayor's Chase. Now that the Turners is gone at Cheltenham. But I think myself, Andrew and Tom really like this horse anyway. Sean probably still gives out about her. But
I think she's hype.
I think there's a whole lot to give out about her. I thought that Mayor's race at Cheltenham last year was very good. Again, same form there as Pastoral. Brighter Days Ahead, better horse. She finally put it all together then at Aintree last year over hurdles and really much dotted up in that race. She was very impressive. I think she's going to make a better chaser. Gordon's already said she's straight away going chasing, which is great. The target is there then. There's really only one race for her. I doubt she's going to go for the Brown Advisory. So I think she's going to win loads of races and she'll beat the geldings along the way. Perhaps she'll even beat Ballyburn.
Oh, I love it. Say it again.
I said perhaps she'll even beat Ballyburn.
One more time.
Perhaps she'll even beat Ballyburn.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
You catch me hanging out at the DRF stand.
DRF. Oh, imagine DRF.
Yeah,
She
if
beat.
they're in the race together, I would side with her. I think she's very, very good. I think the Mayor's race last year at the novice at the festival was very good. I know people probably slate Golden Ace, but I think she's phenomenal. I think she's extremely fast. I think Di Sardinos, that wasn't in the race, is very good. Jay de Grugy is very good. I just think a strong form. I like Ballyburn a lot, but I think he does things wrong. To race at 2 miles, he pulls too hard. It's evident he pulls too hard.
Apparently not.
Well, Sean thinks he doesn't pull too hard, but he does. Like he's like whistling the fucking grass.
Whispering between nothings to the grass.
And I just, there's been so many of these superstars that have gone to the Ballymore, the Neptune in years previous, and they just haven't lived up to the hype afterwards. It's happened in Supreme as well, I suppose, with horses. But
It happens all the time. You can name
I've seen
them.
it so many times, and the form of the Ballymore is awful. It's just terrible.
She done
terrible.
more or less the same as what he done.
There was no good horses in it,
Ooh.
unfortunately.
They're all pack of shite bags.
There was one good horse, and the Ballymore is good. He's a very good horse. But yeah, I'd take her over Ballymore.
Yeah, look, I like Ballymore. I put him up this time last
I
year.
like him
I know he beat Slay Steed and all that jazz. Something about me that says when he goes against a proper horse, what's he going to find if he starts racing like that? Sean doesn't think he's keen. Sean thinks that he's just trying to get his head up off the ground. That's all Paul's trying to do. No, he's trying to slow him the fuck down.
He's very keen.
He's very keen, and I don't know. He might get away with it in novice chases, but then again, he's going to come up to the likes of Imperaire, Passe and whatnot. That's a decent crop of novice chases coming into it this season. I think the prices of everything he's going to run in is going to be absolutely ridiculous, and I would take him on again with a decent horse.
Yeah. Brighter Days Ahead for me. Tom. Sir Thomas of the Rain.
Of the Rain.
Another Willie Mullins horse, Sean. To keep you happy. Yeah, look, I've tried to. Someone said in the comments this shouldn't just be the obvious ones. I threw one obvious one in there that I thought was Imperaire Passe. I've tried to stay away from obvious ones apart from that.
Yeah, I did too. A couple of English ones. Sean, not so much.
Please, Sean. Please, I had to break
No, stop now. You can't say that now after the next one you're putting up, so stop.
Yeah, look, this lad comes with a massive asterisk, and this is kind of why I'm putting him up here rather than an anti-post show. He missed 469 days between his bumper season and then going hurdling. So very, very hard to back anti-post, but I do think he's going to make into a lovely, lovely chaser. I was impressed with his couple of wins in Ireland. I thought he looked nice there, and just not quite the finished article. He's then gone to Cheltenham and ran a lovely, lovely race in the Albert Bartlett. He was dropped in towards the back. All of the action, if you look at the free in front of him, was all up the front. He was the only one dropped out the back, and he came through on the bridle. He got a little bit tired. I'd put some of it down to inexperience as well. I think he's going to kick on for a fence, and if he stays in one piece, I just think he could be one that comes through, and we're kind of saying, where did he come from? And he could be a top class chaser, but a big if he stays in one piece, I think.
I liked him. When he won his comeback, he took my eye. He was a big boy. He's the baby blue and pink colours.
I like the big boys.
You should know. You should know.
Swiftly moving on.
Oh, you try to drag me down. I'm fucking taking you with me.
Fucking hell. You need to put the thing up.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Who's next?
Sean.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wrong button.
Still the wrong button.
The computer doesn't even want to put it up.
There we go. Ballybourne. Look, everyone's going to look and say, geez, it's not hard to pick out Ballybourne. But I'd be of the opinion...
That's not. They're right. They're true. It's true.
Yeah. But I'd probably have a different opinion to the majority of people about what happens with him this season. And look, last season, I think he has the potential to be a star. I think he could go all the way to the top table. He went last season, was beaten first time out, and everyone's throwing bricks at him. All of a sudden, he comes out at Leopardstown, he wins by 25 lengths, half of the track, and then he goes to the DRF. And the DRF is the performance for me that stands him above any novice and puts him well at the top. He's got him beating Slade Steele, who's going to win the Supreme. He also has the county winner, Absurd, down in fourth, I think it was that day. Absurd was down in fourth. He's Daddy Longlegs back in sixth. He went and hosed up at the Punchestown Festival when thrown into a handicap. And I just think, although everyone's saying his Cheltenham form ain't good, it's not. The Ballymore race is not good, but he couldn't have been any more impressive. He absolutely tanked his way around the place and he hosed up the hill. And I think it was exceptional what he was able to do over 2 miles last season, because I don't think he should have been able to do that over 2 miles, and I think he's only going to get better as we see him over time and possibly going up and trip. Like, I could see him starting off in the beginner's chase, probably going to Faheen, onto the flow gas, the 2 mile 5 DRF race. I don't see him coming back down and trip. I don't see him going towards your Arkle. I don't see him as an Arkle horse. I think it'd be 2.5 miles, the 2 mile 5 of the DRF, and then the unpopular opinion would be I could see him rocking up to a Brown Advisory. Look, his pedigree tells you that. All his blood is stamina. It's absolutely laced in stamina. There's 3 miles all over it. Noble Endeavour. He's a half brother who won the handicap at Christmas at Leopardstown, the big handicap. He's a Flemingford. Like, you need to look at what he's thrown out. Grey Dawn in last season. I think the pedigree is absolutely laced in stamina. And I think Willie Mullins, I don't see him coming back down to be an Arkle champion chase type. I think he's going to be given that intermediate trip this season and then stepping up to the Brown Advisory. And I think he's a future Gold Cup contender. So I think that's the only way you go with him.
Fair enough.
He's just gonna have to change the way he races. For me, he's too keen. He's very hard to ride. As in, he's got his head on the ground, and Paul is trying to pull him back under it. I would be very worried about him going for Brown Advisory. If he travels like that for 3/4 of the race, he ain't getting up the hill. That's a slugger's a slow boats to China race, and he ain't no slow boat to China. I think Willie would have been pulling his hair out when the Turners was scrapped, because this lad did have Turners written all over him. It is tricky with him. I know what you mean, Sean. His pedigree is all stamina, to be fair, but it's just one of these. It's like Facile last year. I think I said on the show last week. It just screams take him on. But
it's just the way he races. It just doesn't scream I'm a 3 miler at all. Like, you can see if he goes to the Browns, there's going to be something at 25, 33 to 1, a Boss of the Angel type of horse, that's just going to plod past them up the hill.
Oh, what a fuck of a horse that was.
Oh, he was just a big brutal bastard.
Oh my
So that's the
God.
thing, like just on his pedigree, he absolutely shouldn't have been doing what he was doing last year. And if that's anything to go by and he goes up and trip and he gets even better, I think you'll look back and say, Jesus, how was he doing it over 2 months the season before?
The thing is, though, there's always an exception to the rule. He looks like the exception that has the speed. He looks fast. He
Yeah,
does.
look fascinating.
There's nothing that strikes me as this fella needs a trip. To me, he doesn't need a trip in the slightest. I would be shocked if he ran the Brown of Irisy.
Do you know who also used to look
It's
fast?
Just when you get into him, he answers all the questions. Like you even seen his bumper times, Paddy Mullins got into him, and every single time he answered, and he gave him a squeeze at the DRF and chat, and he's just gone and taken off again.
And Fabiolo used to look fast, and then the fences fucking slowed him right down.
Just because he couldn't fucking
Yeah. Anyway, Andrew.
my
I don't know
last.
why you shouted because you're beside me.
You like shouting at me.
Andrew.
The next one is Staffordshire Knot.
Absolutely bashed by Brighter Days Ahead. I just want to
What is that, Andrew?
That is Staffordshire Knot. That is a
previously owned by
By- Caldwell.
Caldwell Construction, now owned by Gigginstown
Getting
House
jiggy with it.
Stud, second in entry to
I'll sit back.
Brighter Days Ahead.
Yeah. Keep going.
Also won some races last year.
Yeah, keep going.
Should have won the race that I think Tom mentioned already.
Largy Hill. Beat him.
It's the one that he said Henry sends.
Yeah, Largy, he'll be in it.
Martin Pipe horse was
Yeah.
there. Should have won that, was terrible, and then the next time was better at entry.
What he said. No, last season he started
I
off.
like him.
He's very good.
I like him.
He started off in bumpers last season. He ran the bumper between which will probably be now Sean's Cliff horses, breeding Tommy Wrong. He's finished third to him being the bumper, and he went off the right left. You got away with nothing, kid. You got away with nothing.
Every time I hear reading Tommy Wrong, I did not say that. 'cause I'd be-
One thing we got right, Pablo, was the value, but that was about it because he's still on the Cheltenham Hill somewhere.
Don't bring me into
Oh,
this.
it's right, can't
Don't bring me into this.
Oh, he went off 8 to 11 then for he won his obviously his
I'm smiling so much, my face.
he went off 8 to or he won his fuck I can't talk now. He won his maiden hurdle by about 15-20 lengths. He went off 8 to 11 for a grade 3 novice hurdle at Tipperary. He got beat by Largy Hill. We didn't see him then again until Aintree, where he finished second behind Brighter Days Ahead. I really liked what he done that day. They set him out the back and he finished with a rattle again. He finished 4.5 to 5 lengths clear of the third. Obviously had no hope in hell of hanging with Brighter Days Ahead. But he's a horse to me that strikes that will go up in distance this season. Obviously owned now by Gigginstown. They played stupid o'clock for him. But I think this could be their national hunt horse. I think he's just below the grade 1 level. He probably turn up in your grade 2s, grade 3s, the likes of Naas and Navan, where they have their ones.
See him now.
Who?
See him, Staffordshire not.
I do.
I would
there.
automatically straight away think Gordo would plot him for the Turner's rearranged race.
Or he could be plotted for the Turner's handicap that's replaced. Never thought of that.
He's perfect. Enough top weight on that 2.5 miles.
Yeah, he could go. There's a lot of options open for him, but I think he's a very good horse. Where he'll be dicked around now for most of the season, I don't know, but there's definitely a massive race in him. He's a lot of talent. They taught a lot of him before he came out last season. There was a lot of talk about him. And yeah, Staffordshire Novice Chaser to look forward to this season, whether is it still called the Turner's
I
handicap?
don't know what it is.
Whatever it's called.
They interviewed the Turner's boss about it anyway, and he wasn't best pleased. So I don't know, but maybe it is the Turner's handicap.
So it's going to be called the Ryanair Novice Handicap Chase, and that all makes sense now.
I'm telling you, I could 100% see him being plotted for that.
If it's not that,
I don't think at this moment in time or this year he'd be like all out 3 mile.
no, he'd be started off if they have a plan for him. Whatever, it'll be start off 2 mile 2, and then it'll be.
What's the top rating in that race?
I don't think it's out yet. The official. I don't think it's like released whether it's
No,
out.
to 140 handicap, no.
We used to know. It used to be 145. I could see him getting in there now after that.
That'll be a plot job already for the start of the season to keep an eye on.
I like
You're
it.
welcome. Yeah, Staffordshire not. If it's not that, I think he could be Derek O'Connor's ride in the National Hunt Chase.
No, he's faster than that. Dark horses.
Dark horses. Who are we going first?
I'll go first. Favor and fortune for me. I actually backed him outsider in the Supreme last year. Each way he came sixth, I think,
Good run.
and I let him go, and he bolted up that day at I think it was the Scottish Grand National Festival.
Yeah,
I
you
was fuming.
You weren't happy camper.
Fuming I didn't back him. I went off Alan King over the last couple of years, but I think this lad is a good horse. He's good bumper form, good novice hurdle form. Don't know whether he's going to go chasing or open hurdling, but I think he's quite a decent horse, and I'm going to follow him for the year.
Yeah, I won't put anyone off that. Where do you want to go? Tom?
Tom.
Marla Mission. Now look, he's not exactly a dark horse, but I'd say he's a bit of a forgotten horse.
He deserves a change of look now, that lad.
Yeah, I think so. Trained by John McConnell, I think that's maybe why he's forgotten a bit. But this lad's got some top class form. About second in the Hennessy last year, well touted for the national, unseated in that. They're relatively early on, and then was fourth in the French champion hurdle, which was a very solid run. He was only a length and a bit off of Hewick, beat home by the Lee and Irish Point. Now I know we're not going to take that form literally because it's May and it's sunshine in Paris for a few glasses of wine, but I just think there's a massive handicap in this lad. I think there's a handicap.
Are we going to that meeting again?
That was highly recommended.
Yeah, I'm going to do that every year.
Honestly.
Got no money.
I don't know if you were on the podcast since then. I'm sorry to cut over Tom. Honest to God, anybody that fancies a trip out to watch the French race in Auteuil, amazing experience. Very chilled, different way of doing things over there. Amazing weather, good racing. We got a couple of winners.
We did, thanks to that.
It was fantastic.
I think
great value for money as well. It should be said. I think it's about 10 or 12 quid in.
There's no old biddies trying to rob you with race cards outside. You get them free when you go in.
You do.
You get a big sheet of paper for free. Yeah, it's really good.
You can't buy Toblerones on the way out.
Toblerones.
No Toblerones. No not. No worries getting a taxi. Walk outside the gate.
Oh, you have it like that.
Taxi was there. Not a problem.
Wine
I loved it.
is fantastic.
I honestly.
Company, fantastic. Horses, they're there.
We be joking about stuff and all that. It was a really, really good experience. Thank you, Tom.
Shout out to Pimlico.
Yeah, we'll go back again.
And I have to say, thank you for winning that competition.
Yeah, I did win the competition. And that competition is coming up now in 2 weeks' time again.
Is it?
Genuinely is, yeah. You can imagine if you won it again.
Oh, Lord.
Alfie's will be hopping.
Sorry, Tom, anyway. By the way.
I'm going to have to publish live results for that competition if you're anywhere near the top of the leaderboard.
If you're running it, definitely won't be live about 5 days later.
Right, yeah, look, I think there's a massive handicap in Marla Mission. He deserves a change of luck. He lost both front shoes in Hennessy, and he obviously didn't get a run before the National. There's a massive handicap in him, so yeah, keep him on side, and yeah, best luck to John. I hope he gets his head in front of one.
Andrew's next.
I'm next. My last one, dark horse, is Joystick for Willie Mullins, owned by Richie. I liked this horse last season. His win at Leopardstown was good. He battled, I think he fought off 2 horses the whole way up the straight, but that form's actually working out quite well. The second has gone on to win again. The third, who was beaten 26 lengths, was won again, 4th, 5th. He's gone on to win 2 or 3 races. The 6th has won one, and the horse pulled up has gone on to win twice since. So look, the race is working out well. It went on then to run in the grade of bumper. Look back over 2 miles, just like a slow boat to China. It looks like he very much reminds me of the horse I put up at this same juncture last season, Chap de Soleil. He kind of reminds me of that Mola horse. He's a big burly horse. He'll win you a few races over hurdles, whether he's up to grade standard or not. But I think he'll have a solid enough season running in greater races, and he'll probably end up in a few handicaps at the end of the season, whether it be Cheltenham, Aintree, or Punchestown. But he's one that I think will definitely. He'll pick up a race or two. He'll probably beat prices when he does, because he mightn't do anything really for the start of the season. So I think handicaps might be the name of the game with him going forward.
Chapo de Soleil, he's surely Patrick's national.
He's the national hunt horse every day of the week for him.
Yeah, very slow. Last one then.
Right, I'm sitting back for this one. Tom, have your gun ready? Your bullets ready?
Sean.
And we're off.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. There we go. It's a 3-year-old that probably many are not going to look at that screen and say, who on earth is this? But the lads know I've been banging on about this since May, June last year, and they've been telling me to go away, leave her out in the middle of the summer when I was looking around. And unfortunately, this show wasn't a month or 6 weeks ago, because Twitter went into the old meltdown when they found out that this lad was in the Close Something stable and he's going to run the Rich Izzy Silks now. But look, I often go through, I get a list every season of the 3-year-olds that have been transferred across, and I pick out a couple, and by far this lad is top of my list for the 3-year-olds that come over from France this season. He's 2 runs. He went and won the first day up at Compiègne, when that race in the past being won by Clixios before going on to win the Triumph. He won well that day. He came from the back and made a lot of ground up and went away to win easy. His then second run has gone to Auteuil, and he's run behind the best 3-year-old in France. Nietzsche has is the name, but it's not just that. I think that single-handedly is the best piece of juvenile form coming from France this season. He had Nietzsche has in front of him. He had a horse, Rooster Crowan, in third, who went on to finish behind Nietzsche has in the big 3-year-old race there in Auteuil at the end of the season that Nietzsche has went on to win. 2 of them have both ran up the form again. The 4th, Sonny Bill, has now joined the Willie Mullen stable, and the 5th, Mambo number 5, has gone to join Ben Pauling for 450 grand. So Willie's gone in and he's taken out the 4th. The 5th is being snapped up, and they've gone and picked up the 2nd. I think it's a standout piece of form coming out from France. He hasn't got a rating, but if I was to put a rating on it, between the French marks, you have between Nietzsche has been 146 transferred over, and Rooster Crowing being 137. I had this lad in around 140, and for me, that's bang up there. 140 would have won you last year's Triumph Hurdle. It would have had you in the top 3 in 2023, and it wouldn't have had you in the top 3 in 2022. But he has been picked up by Rich Ritchie, who's won 2 of the last 3 seasons. I think it says everything that he's gone and picked him up. It would have been for a substantial fee, I can tell you that. It would have been really high numbers you're talking for him, and I think he's coming over with top form. It's going to take an exceptionally well one that's not hit the track yet to get to his level. But the reason I'm putting him up is, like we seen last season with Willie, he didn't hit the track with Marsborough until DRF, and he was beaten, and all of a sudden he was pushed by the wayside. If you don't see Willie de Hully for a while and he comes out and he needs to run and gets beaten first time, I would not be giving up on him. As you seen last year, Marsborough was beaten and went to Cheltenham and then won. So this is the reason why I'm putting him up. I wouldn't be at all shocked. I hope he gets the Ferdy House. I know he got Lossie Mount out at the Royal Bond meeting for Ferdy House. I don't know if he get this chap out. It could be Christmas by the time you see him. But if he gets beaten first day out, don't throw the towel in. It happens a lot with Willie horses. And I think I assume he's got his manhood chopped off, and he's no longer a colt. I'd say he's a gelding, and I think he's a bit of a burly horse. He's not exactly the biggest. Me and Tom are talking about. He's not the biggest, but I think he's round and he's well built. I could see him filling out and giving time, and I think going into the hands of Willie Mullins, you know what he can do with horses, and I think this is a top contender for the Triumph Hurdle this season.
Any thoughts?
I just want to hear what Tom has to say.
Tom?
I just think he's way overhyped, isn't it? It's just one of these that, you know, a few lads, they write down a few notes now, and they go on and talk about him, and everyone gets a little bit excited. The whole, he's gone to Willie Mullins. Sure, Willie must buy 30 in France every year. I don't know why this lad is suddenly the one. I know he's going to finish second to Netche Haas, but it's not Netche Haas actually coming over is what I think we need to remind a few of the lads. For me, the form isn't great. I don't think it's worked out well at all from what's in behind him. I would look at the marks. The marks for juveniles are compressed in France, So I think a lot of them get overinflated. We've seen then the likes of Gaelic Warrior come over, and how it took him a run. Like, he should have bolted up in that Poodles, and he still found it too
He's
hard.
still not over it.
Still not over it. But it's a lot different. It's a lot different racing in France and racing in Ireland and the UK. So you couldn't be touching at this price. I don't think he's that big of a horse. Although, I mean, it is only juvenile herd and we're on about, so it shouldn't knock him that much. But my one thing and two things about him is he wears a hood. Now, Sean, you'll tell me Malsborough, is it, or a hood in France? So look, maybe that won't bother him. He didn't seem to be that keen. But my big thing is about him, he jumped left for Otoy. He jumped the last two down the back left, and he jumped the two in the home straight markedly left. Now look, Cheltenham is left-handed, but when you're running down fences like that or hurdles like that, it's not ideal. So for me, I just think he's just way overhyped. Look, he could come out and bolt up, but it's a bit like Ballyburn. For me, it just gets to a stage where they're way overhyped, and it half takes the fun out of it, because people are saying stuff like, if the race was tomorrow, he'd be an even money favourite for it. Like, I mean, come on. I'm just not having that. It's a Triumph hurdle in March. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and then.
Yeah, for me, the form is not that strong. I'd take him on.
I just don't get it. That's been honest.
It
was like someone. It's just like. It's the whole thing of the Stenning Line Express. Whatever the hell lands on Willie Mullins is now God.
There's
Just to throw it out there, like I know you're saying that, but like, look at the French imports that come over, like first and second last year, fourth, second, third the year before, and he's taken Masborough out. He's taken Vauban out the year before. Like, you have to take note of them. You can't just brush.
Yeah, but how many does he? As Tom said, how many does he get in the yard?
No, he's good.
No, he's not bringing heaps of them. But I think if you get the right ones, you're onto something. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the lad that I hang.
He's so much talking.
Like, obviously one of them is going to be decent, but it's not. I just don't think it's him. There's nothing in this race that stood out to me to say that this is the next Vauban or this is the next Lassie Mount. I didn't think it anyway, to be honest.
As Tom alluded to, the jumping markedly out to the left of final, the last two hurdles would worry you. And then, as Thomas said as well, the race in the UK and the race in France is totally different. Look, he probably will have to adapt to it. He obviously will have to adapt to it. You're not going to know until you see him. I just think there's so much hype over a goddamn Triumph horse, for the love of God.
Yeah, there was two fillies that I liked from France. They raced way back in April, I think. And I checked on them today, and they're still registered over in France. So maybe they haven't been bought by anyone in Ireland or England, but they were ones that I was looking forward to seeing. I thought to be bought. They're weird names. One of them is the second was Cot Cadena, and the thing that one was called Laco Keldy. If they came over, I'd be interested in them, but they're still registered in France.
Then look, still has to get through the whole Willie Mullins training regime, and
yeah,
they have to survive that. And like, he can't go to a juvenile hurdle. He's won a race, so he has to go straight into graded company. So it's either going to be Charity House or Christmas. So I wouldn't throw the towel in if he gets beaten.
One of the things he massively has in his favour is the hurdling experience. That's the big thing he has in his favour, which is a huge plus. He can win. We saw already he can win over hurdles. Massive plus. I don't know. I think it's just a whole fucking this even. I think should be even money tomorrow if it was run. Like, do me a favour.
I will say, as Andrew said, the hurdling experience. That I think he'll do better with him than Bunting and Ebola. The Ebola virus done to you last year, because the hurdling experience will stand to him. Someone said in the comments, who will win the Super Bowl? I think the Jets will win the AFC and the Lions will win the NFC.
I think the Panthers will win.
They're terrible.
Are they? Just trying out a name there.
They're terrible, yeah. Yeah, the Lions are the Jets.
I started watching it this year.
Yeah, the NFL is very good. Very good. Anything else?
No, back next week, 7:30 again.
Part 2 it is?
Part 2, the Open Chasers and Hurdlers.
Open and a Dark Horse?
And Dark Horse.
So back next week, 7:30 again next week, and then we're going 7.
Times are changed, yeah.
Times are changed, so it's 7:30 this week and next week, and then we're going earlier this year, 7 p.m. then from then on. Next week, Open Hurdlers, Open Chasers, 2 each. Tom can't get that wrong because you don't need a novice. and a dark horse.
Rob, you can stick them up in that open hurdler section again if you want.
Why not?
Other than
I,
that,
I've got 3 novice chasers and 1 hurdler this year. I'm just going for that.
other than that, we're a couple of weeks out from, I think, the first National Hunt meeting at Ferry House, the meeting at Chepstow, the middle of November. Towards the end of October, we have the first meeting at Cheltenham. So it's all coming back. National Hunt fans are happy. I like the flat. I've hated it this year.
I'm looking forward to the Arc
more
weekend.
than ever. I'm looking forward to the Arc.
It's because we're going out in piss.
The flat has been completely abysmal, so let's hope for a National Hunt to be a lot better. On that note, have a good evening.